we welcome you to Bank Fieldhouse on the campus of Westminster College for another Friday night of Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference basketball. It's the Chadron State Eagles taking on the Westminster Griffins. Mike Lagerschultz and our crew with you on Griffins TV and the RMAT Network. You see the starters on our screen for Chadron State. Tatum Peterson at forward. Riley Iono is at center. And the guard court, Samaya Worrell, Emily Atcher, and also Kadem Comer. Those are the starting five for Chadron State. Their top scorer, Ashada Powell, will not start, averaging 13.1 points a game, 5.8 rebounds. Worrell for them, averaging 8.9 points per game, their second best scorer, and Peters, their third best scorer, 7.3 points per contest. Chadron State 3-4 overall and 2-0 in the conference. The Griffins held both of last week's opponents under 60 points. MSU Denver shot just 37% from the field, so great defense played by the Griffins last weekend. They had a season-high 41 rebounds against MSU Denver. So lots of familiar faces for this Griffins team, and first-year head coach Gentile Jackson. First possession goes to Chadron State. Griffins in a man-to-man defense. Atcher with the jumper. One and done that trip for Chadron State. Griffins now come front courts, facing a man-to-man defense by the Eagles. Out the post, Mangum. Out on the perimeter, jumper is good. Hunter Krebs, as she has her entire career, has the range from deep. Krebs this season a bit off her percentage at just 20% from downtown. And a three ball for Chadron State gives them the lead at 3-2. So count the bucket for the Griffins, and Abby Mangum chance here for a three-point play. Foul whistled against Emily Atcher, the junior guard from Melbourne, Australia. Free throw won't go, however, for Mangum. 4-3 are scored. Griffins on top, just underway from Bankin. Continuing their excellent start to the game, shooting 5 of 7 now from the floor. Valatea chasing up top. Good rotation by Chadron State leads to an open jumper. 6 points now for Emily Atcher. Transferred from Casper College, again from Melbourne, Australia. Krebs from the angle right. Jumper pure from the right side. Hunter Krebs already in double figures. Nearing the halfway mark of this first quarter of play. Hunter Krebs already 104 career starts here for the Griffins. Graduate student coming back for that bonus year after the COVID season. Jumper won't go by Atcher. Greenwood chases down the rebound. The Griffins looking to extend a 4-point lead of 14-10. Greenwood denied. Boy, nice vision. Valatea, the intended target, knocked out of bounds. We've got a timeout. 4:32 left. First quarter from Bankin Fieldhouse in Salt Lake City. Westminster looking to go 3-0 in conference play. Leads Chadron State 14-10 on Griffin. In last year's matchup, the Griffins got the better of the Eagles, 84-63 at home. And the Griffins 4-0 all-time at home against Chadron State here at Bankin. In fact, the Griffins, talking about that 4-game winning streak, they've won all last 4 by double digits, including a 36-point win here in Salt Lake City in 2019, the largest win ever in the all-time series. Griffins are on top 16-10. As Lindsay Rich off the bench, the senior from Thermopolis, Wyoming, gets her first buckets. And as we come the other way, 3-ball up and down for Chadron State. Worrell now with 5 points. 3-ball up and good. Book it, baby, from downtown. Boy, Hunter Krebs is feeling it tonight. Already 13 points in this first quarter of play. Single-handedly, she's tied Chadron State as they both scored 13. Pull up at the free throw line by Peters. Turnaround jumper won't go down for Peterson. Peters fifth in the RMAC in assist-to-turnover ratio, 1.4. One of the better ball handlers in this conference, also the third best scorer, 7.3 points a game. Peters scoreless so far in 6 minutes tonight. The Griffins, as Rich turns around and scores it, that's her second bucket, and the Griffins now building their large lead tonight of 8 points at 21-13. Lindsay Rich now with 4 points. Pass up top to Peters. So Veer left side, works with a screen set up. And a turnover by Chadron State. Mangum down the floor. Kick outside to Krebs. Can't leave her alone from there. This time she can't knock it down, but great hustle by Caitlin Okerlund. Inside, scored by Krebs. The three doesn't go. Great hustle to get herself to a layup in the scramble. And a timeout called by Chadron State. 100 quarter. And Jenna Raymer forced to call a timeout. Had this team off to a 2-0 starting conference play, winning both at home last weekend, but it has been a different story here tonight on the road. That one bobbled by Castellanos. Outside straightaway jumper on the way, misses everything on the try by Olivia Waffle. Griffins look to increase their 10-point lead. Lindsay Rich weaves a pass to Okerlund. Oakland's jumper, 10-footer baseline, good. 9-0 run now by the Griffins to open up a 12-point lead. That was the first bucket by Caitlin Okerlund, senior from Richfield, Utah. Straightaway three, good for Olivia Waffle. And that stops that 9-0 run by the Griffins. Nice pass out of the baseline. One more to Mangum. Good ball movement by the Griffins. Mangum, a dribble to open jumper, but it won't go. McGinley with the rebound. Driving down the lane, Greenwood hits the deck. And that will turn it over to Chadron State. Look at this Griffins team. They are not overly deep. In fact, they played just 8 players this entire season. Their number 8 player, Olivia Svetlana Olivau, averaging 7.8 minutes per game. The other 7 averaging 13.9 or better. So again, not an overly deep team. That was the case last year as well. And look at this roster. Other than Falatea, pretty much the same group as we saw last year for this Griffins team, although Caitlin Okerlund has contributed a lot more than she did a year ago. Layup by Mangum makes it 27-16. Now, we weren't sure if Sarah McGinley, Hunter Krebs, what their plans were. They had a chance for a bonus year because of COVID-19, but, sometimes players are just ready to move on to what's next, but they are back. Lindsay Rich back as a redshirt senior. So a veteran group for this Griffins squad as that one won't go. The Griffins making the Sweet 16 a year ago under Shelley Gerard in her final season, who is now the senior women's administrator, and her former assistant Gentile Jackson taking the team. What a great run in the postseason a year ago. Just their third year being eligible for postseason at the NCAA Division II level. They made the West Regional Final before they fell to Azusa Pacific 43, or made that 53-48. The Griffins took care of Armat foes Black Hills State and Western Colorado in the first and second rounds to secure their first ever appearance in the Sweet 16. Great run for the Griffins, and a lot back from that group, including all MAC performers Hunter Krebs and Sarah McGinley from last year's team. Also, Abby Mangum was honorable mention all conference. The only loss to speak of was Mariah Martine from last year's team. She was first team all conference, but again, to have first team all conference performers Krebs and McGinley back, that's a great start. And they have been wonderful again this season for the Griffins. The emerging players I mentioned, Ashley Greenwood, a transfer from Dixie State, finally late in the year last year found her groove with this team and put up good numbers late, but right now averaging 18.3 points a game, just under 7 rebounds. Shooting numbers have been terrific so far. And she has been the difference maker at this point for this Griffins ball club. Three-pointer from the right side. Looked at for Samaya Worrell. That gets the Griffins lead down to 8 at 27-19. Krebs, for some reason, left alone. Worked again that time. Krebs now 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. But normally, if she's that open from that spot on the floor, it is down through the cylinder. Little bump on the rebound efforts. McGinley brings it front court, then hands off to Greenwood. She'll set up the offense. Grabs McGinley with a double screen, top of the key. Nothing there for Greenwood. Won't go for Falatea. Falatea, a freshman from East High School. Spent some time at Cal State Northridge and Utah Valley, but because of COVID-19, did not lose any eligibility. And still a freshman eligibility-wise as she joins the Griffins program. Rebound tracked down by Olivia Waffle. Fresh shot clock here for the Eagles. Won't go for Waffle. Three-pointer, Falatea won't go. But an offensive board for the Griffins. They've led by as many as 12 points in this first half of play. Now we'll turn it over to Chadron State. And a timeout, 7:23 left first quarter. Meet that first half from Bacon. Griffins on top of Chadron State 20. Women's hoops and golf. After 1 year transferred to Westminster, she played hoops for the Griffins for 3 seasons from 2010 to 12. Played for the golf team from 10 to 13, but was an outstanding basketball player for Shelley Gerard. In fact, she averaged 3.7 assists per game, 3.7 boards, 9 points. Was a part of 2 Frontier Conference regular season championship teams. Made to the second round of the NAIA championship in 2012. But right away, found a seat on the bench next to Shelley Gerard, became an assistant coach that first season following her senior year. Was an assistant to Girard from 13 to 21. She also coached the women's golf team as an assistant from 13 to 15. Took over as head coach from 15 to 17. Then last 4 years focused on just basketball. And again, helped Shelley Girard steer this program to the Sweet 16 a year ago now. After Girard has stepped down to become a full-time administrator, Gentile Jackson taking over. And after some losses, in fact, 3 straight to end the non-conference season, the Griffins winning 2 road games to open league play last weekend. They lead here by 11, 30-19 at Beckett Fieldhouse, 6:30 left in the first half. So, as we expected, pretty much a seamless transition from Shelley Girard to Gentile Jackson. Three-pointer, that one won't go for Axer. Long rebound tracked down by Hunter Krebs. Of course, it helps when you have players like Krebs, McGinley, Mangum. All 3 all-league selections a year ago here to help the transition. Falatea won't go. Remains an 11-point lead for the Griffins over the Eagles. Waffle gets pinned on the baseline. Waffle back up top now. Gets a screen from Iono. Aaron pass out of bounds. We'll give it to the Griffins. Mangum, Falatea, Greenwood, McGinley, and Krebs at 5 on the floor now for the Griffins. Greenwood, now to Krebs. Three-pointer, good for McGinley. Well, once she came on board, that was a game changer for the Griffins. As I mentioned before, Krebs, an excellent three-point shooter her entire career, but McGinley gave this team one more weapon as a big from beyond the arc. McGinley coming into tonight, 10 of 32 from three-point range. That's the most makes and most tries from beyond the arc on the team this year. Krebs has cut back on threes just a bit, but tonight had some openings she simply could not pass up. But McGinley, talking about that stretch forward at 6 feet tall from Fort Collins. She's been just that for the Griffins. 5 for the rebound after the miss by Greenwood. Great job by Ashley to hit the deck and not give up on it. And the possession arrow gives it to Chadron State. 4:51 left in this first half of play. Rebound taken by Krebs. Turnover there by the Griffins. Chadron State trying to hang around here, down by 14 as we near the 4-minute mark of this first half. Tatum Peterson got the rebound and a foul. A look at the RMAC standings entering tonight. Colorado Mines in first place with CSU Pueblo, Black Hills State, and Westminster. Also Chadron State, all 5 of those teams at 2-0. Colorado Mines, great overall, 7-1. CSU Pueblo at 6-1. Westminster picked to finish 5th in the RMAC this year. Coming off that 13-6 season a year ago, Chadron State picked second to last in this league. Just 0-12 for them a year ago, but strange year for everyone for so many reasons. So hard in some ways to judge much off of what you did a year ago. More so than normal. 33-21 our score. Mangum gets pinned on that baseline. So the foul goes against Samaya Worrell for Chadron State. Just 3 fouls called against Chadron State in this first half, 1 against the Griffins. The Griffins, after shooting 75% in the first quarter, just 2 of 9 in the second quarter, but Chadron State, after a cold start, has continued that, and in fact, they dropped a bit more. They shot 6 of 16 in the first quarter. They have now dropped off to 2 of 10 in the second quarter. So just a rough shooting night for Chadron State. 30.8% overall. The Griffins at 56%. Both teams knocking down 5 threes in this first half of play. The Griffins a 19-11 edge on the boards. They lead by 14 at 35-21. Jumper left side good for Castellanos. First bucket for her. That Castellanos had not played in the game this season before tonight for Chadron State. And a chance for a three-point play. Sarah McGinley. Great look to her down low, and McGinley with 8 points now. Chance for a three-point play. Jory Peters with the personal foul, her first, team's fourth. McGinley from the line this year, 83%, gets the free throw to go. Westminster leading by as many as 14 points in this first half. That was early moments of the second quarter. Under 3 minutes to play, first half. Left alley drive, and Jory Peters converts. Peters, the third best scorer for Chadron State at 7.3 points a game, gets her first bucket. (38-25) in favor of the Griffins. McGinley down low, score it. And the Griffins down front by 15. 11 points for McGinley. 40-25 in favor of the Griffins. 2:05 left in the half. Jumper good by Emily Atcher. 8 points for Atcher, top scorer tonight for Chadron State. Jumper good by Greenwood. 4 points now for Greenwood. 42-27 our score. Chadron State dressing just 8 players tonight. As we mentioned a few moments ago, Castellanos playing for the first time this year. It's going to be one of those years once again with COVID issues. Krebs in the baseline. Greenwood bobble, shot clock at 3. Finger roll at the rack, score it. I misspoke, that was a 3 in that last shot by Atcher for Chadron State. The Griffins in front, 44-30. Shot clock is off, game clock at 22 seconds. Miss on the try by Peters. And the Griffins can hold for the final shot of this first half. Down to 3 seconds. Krebs, deep 3, won't go. Not time to get another look. But the Griffins, a solid first half of basketball as they lead by 14 points, their second largest lead. They've been up by as many as 15. Not well, just not as well in that second quarter. They shoot 60% for the half, make 5 of 11 threes. They out-rebound Chadron State 21-12, and with the Eagles shooting just 37.5% for that first half, that spells out a 14-point deficit for the Chadron State team as we go to work in the second half. Hunter Krebs, big for the Griffins, 15 points. She got the double figures in her hurry. And Westminster, more of the same to start this second half of play. On the drive in, Sarah McGinley. The senior from Fort Collins now with 13 points, joining Krebs in double figures, and Westminster cruising up by 16 here at Bacon Fieldhouse. So beginning with 13 points, Krebs with 10. Ashley Greenwood, a good offensive first half with 9 points. Greenwood and Abby Mangum with both 4 assists lead the way for the Griffins. Emily Atcher with 11 points leads the way for Chadron State. Samaya Worrell with 8. Good defense by Abby Mangum. You know, her plus minus for Mangum in that first half was plus 18. That's a monster number. And she has always been someone for the Griffins who hasn't had to score to be efficient. I mean, she is someone who, first and foremost, gets after you defensively. Long arms, good size, 6-foot guard. Takes care of the basketball, can score as needed. But, again, 4 assists in 17 minutes. Ran a good floor game for the Griffins, played great defense. And she is someone who, although she does not score, just is so vital to the success of this Griffins team. Former transfer from BYU out of Eagle, Idaho, had a chance to meet her mother on the post-game show last year. She came in back with us to the interview room, and she has been a vital part of this Griffins program in the time she's been here. 46-30, Griffins are on top by 16. Samaya Worrell drives in, draws 3 wide jerseys, somehow gets that ball in the rim, but it won't go down. Yeah, Mangum playing in 50 games as a Griffin before this season. Been a starter most of her career here. Averaging 12.8 points a game this season. Her best offensive year as a Griffin. Averaging 7 points a game for her career, but has always shot the ball well. This year, 53% overall, 33% from 3. That won't go. Tatum Peterson had that one on the glass. Fouls on McGinley, her second personal, 13 fouling the Griffins. We look at this Griffins squad, it's much like last year. Really the biggest chink in the armor, if you will, is their depth. You know, can they get through the conference season, which we know in this conference you're playing back-to-back at home, back-to-back on the road. That can be tough from a depth standpoint if you don't have much of it over the course of weekends, and you get to the months of January, February, when it really becomes a grind. That's when that depth can really cause some problems, but it's a quality 7 to 8 for this Griffins team if they can stay healthy. This certainly will be a team factoring heavily in the RMAC race once again this season. Nice lean in there to draw the foul. Coming back in, Olivia Waffle for Chadron State. Free throw good for Greenwood. Greenwood 75% at the line this season. Foul goes against Emily Atcher. That's her second, team's first of this second half. Chadron State has not scored in this half. As a result, it's a 15-0 run for the Griffins. So Chadron State scores the last 3:42 going back to the end of the first half of play. Samaya Worwell at the free throw line. Got the first. 78% at the line this year. Their second best score in the season at 8.9 points a game. Second one good as well. So that ends a 3-minute, 42-second scoring drought for Chadron State. Before then, 6 straight points scored by the Griffins. Their biggest run tonight, a 9-0 run back late first quarter that opened up a 25-13 lead. They have not looked back ever since then. McGinley scores that one. Krebs the assist. 50-32, all Griffins in this one. They have equaled their largest lead just for a moment of 18 points. That one up on the rim and good for Samaya Worrell. 10 points now for her. The lead is 16 for Westminster. 6:35 left third quarter. Turnaround jumper nicely done by Ashley Greenwood. Had a catch there, wide right of the lane. Pivoted, squared up. Nice stroke to give her 10 points tonight. 52-34. Gentile Jackson going back to her bench as Caitlin Oakland is ready to check in. Also Lindsay Rich ready to come in. Good idea by Mangum. Just a bit in front of Krebs there. Out of bounds. We'll stay with the Griffins. Rich and Oakland come in. Check in also for Chadron State. Caden Comer, freshman guard from Hill City, South Dakota. On the inbounds play, a look at McGinley instead Greenwood. Bounce pass intended for Peterson. Off the mark and taken away. Greenwood now comes front court for the Griffins. McGinley, a quick catch and a spin. McGinley with 15 points. Greenwood with the assist on that one. Shooting in this third quarter, the Griffins 4 of 7, 57%. They have not attempted a three-pointer in this second half. Chadron State 1 of 4 from the floor. So now the team shooting great in this third quarter. In terms of the volume of shots, the Griffins a very good percentage at 4 of 7. Layup is good. Riley Iono, freshman from Bountiful, Utah, Woods Cross High School. We've heard some good cheering from the crowd whenever she does something tonight for this Eagles team. Iono making her fifth start of the season, averaging just under 2 points and 3 rebounds a game this year for Chadron State. And we have a timeout. The lead is 20 for the Griffins, 56-36 with 4:36. Westminster, its largest lead tonight right now of 20 points at 56-36 with still 40-36 left. In our third quarter, Westminster shooting 60.5% for the game. They've knocked down 5-11 threes, although they have not attempted a three-pointer. In this second half, Chadron State shooting 36.8%. They've gone 6 of 15 from downtown. Now the timeout by Coach Raymer. She gets a nice play drawn up for Iono, the Bountiful Utah product, to get her a bucket. 56-38. 4 points now for Iono. Greenwood won't go. Rebound taken by Peterson. And a tight game there, 83-78. They got the win over Central Washington on November 19th, 78-71, and then Some tight losses. They lost to Northwest Nazarene on the road, 61-54. Central Washington, the second time around, on the road they lost by 12. They lost to South Pacific by 10 on a neutral court, 70-60. A little run here by Chadron State. Last bucket by Worrell, three-pointer, has them within 15, 60-45 tonight. Ashley Greenwood, she's averaging 18.3 overall. Greenwood tonight, 15 points, has been very efficient with 5 rebounds, 4 assists in 26 minutes. But again, McGinley with 16, Krebs with 17, plenty of help behind her tonight. 2 in double figures for Chadron State. Samaya Worrell with the team high, now making a game high 18 points as she has gone 3 of 3 at the line. 11 points for Emily Actor. So Worrell hits both free throws out of the timeout. The lead has been trimmed to 13. It's been as big as 20 points tonight for the Griffins. Shot clock down to 9. Knocked away from behind. Good defense behind Rich. Right side of the floor to Worrell. Nice bounce pass to Peterson. She'll pass out of the post. Peters cut off. After the drive, kick outside. Peters again. Great possession by Chadron State. They work for a high percentage shot. Janet Raymer likes what she saw that trip down the floor. And Chadron State just kind of chipping away here. They've outscored the Griffins 13-4 since Westminster had that 20-point lead. McGinley layup stops the run by Chadron State. They come right back and converts. 8 points now for Tatum Peterson. Shot clock is off. Game clock at 11 seconds in this third quarter. 62-51. Krebs thought about a 3. Thought about it one more time. Instead goes in the corner. Kick out by Okerlund. Just not quite in time. And the third quarter has come to an end. The Griffins led the half. The RMAC Network. Looked like this might be a blowout for a stretch. The Griffins pushed the lead to 20 points twice. The last at 56-36, but a little 13-4 run by Chadron State got them back in the game. Now within 11 at 62-51 as we get started in this fourth quarter. Both teams 2-0 in conference play. Pull a mid-range jumper by Jory Peters is good to open up our fourth quarter. The Griffins won at MSU Denver and Colorado Christian last weekend. Chadron State left in this fourth quarter. Once again, Chadron State down by 20 points. Midway through the third quarter, fighting back to get down by just 9, and now the basketball, 66-57. The Griffins just 2 of 4. So how many shot attempts in this fourth quarter? Chadron State going 3 of 7. Shot clock will be at 13 as Chadron State inbounds. Kaden Comer tosses it in. 10-foot jumper won't go for Castellanos. Mid-range jumper good. Caitlin Okerlund. Oakland average almost 14 minutes a game. 4 points tonight. Griffins up by double figures with 4:29 left. Long three. That one maybe caught the rim. So long look by Castellanos. Pressure now in the backcourt as Greenwood will bring it across. Shot clock at 12. McGinley made that Greenwood. She takes the handoff, drives baseline. 14 points for the top scorer in the RMAC this year. So Chadron State certainly giving Ashley Greenwood some attention, but she has worked her way to still a 14-point night. Check that, a 17-point night. If we look at the score system one more time in 32 minutes. 70-57. Couple of subs here for Chadron State. Will inbound with 6 on the shot clock. And good anticipation by Falatia. So the freshman from East High School, just down the street from the Westminster campus. And a pushing foul on Chadron State. Samaya Worrell with her third personal foul. Let's check foul difficulties. Not many whistled in this contest. Worrell at the first with 3 for either team. We'll check that one more time. Now the scorebook says 4. So 4 personal fouls for Worrell. And no one else with more than 2 for either side. Timeouts in case they need them. Both teams with 2 apiece. If we have a jump ball, it goes to Westminster. Just 2 fouls against Chadron State in the fourth quarter, 1 against the Griffins. So plenty of work to do both ways to reach the bonus. 3:10 left in this fourth quarter. Falatia, baseline, almost could have been a travel. She leaned back. Tried to come to a jump stop, but did not do so cleanly there. Be out of bounds to the Eagles. Jumper won't go for Worrell. Jana Raymer really forced to keep her in there with 2:50 left and 4 personal fouls. Griffins content to run some clock as they lead by 13. And a friendly shooter's roll for Ashley Greenwood. Greenwood now with 19 points. 72-57, a little 6-0 run here by the Griffins. After the lead was trimmed down to 9. On the rim won't go for Peters. Falatia the rebound. Greenwood, another basket for the Griffins in crunch time. And we can see why she's averaging 18 points a game this year. She has been fantastic down the stretch. 3-ball won't go for Atcher. 5 for rebound McGinley, trying to scrap with a couple of pesky Eagles. Good job by Peters just not to give up on it and reach in, but could not cleanly get it. Lindsay Rich, also McCowie coming in here for Westminster. Kayule McCowie, seeing her for the first time, freshman from Highland High School, Salt Lake metro area. 74-57. Eagles down by 13 with 1:32 left. Couple of nice surges in this second half by the Eagles. They had a 17-6 run to get back within 9. At 62-53, they came back within 9 one more time. At 66-57. That bucket there made it a 15-point game. A rebound quickly. Iono up ahead. Just running short of time here with 1:06 left. McGinley with 22 points, Greenwood 21, Krebs with 17, almost a double-double for Krebs as she has 9 boards to go with those 17 points. Greenwood happy to hold it up high. Shot clock winds down to 10 as she starts to drive in. Kick out. Three-pointer, how about that? McCowie with the big three as she just comes in off the bench.